Today we're going to talk about EE2, which is mainly order of operations. We started this in elementary school, but we're just going to add to it a little bit more and go a little bit more in depth here. So real quick, let's just review. We have parentheses, which can also be brackets. That is, there's the same thing. Brackets sometimes just go outside the parentheses, but we're going to use both of those. Exponents, which we talked about in a previous video. And everything has an inverse. So I like to put an R beside the E because the inverse of an exponent is a root, which we do not use in 6th grade, but you will use it later. So we just go ahead and implant it now. We have multiplication and division left to right, add subtraction left to right. We're going to work a few of these because I want y'all to see some of the misconceptions I had growing up, and I don't want you to make the same mistake I had because it took forever to fix the errors that I made when I was in middle school. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at is 7 times the parentheses 12 plus 8 minus 6. So I like to go through and check these off. So I have a parentheses. Let's do it. 12 plus 8 is 20. Now I want y'all to notice I am writing this directly below 12 plus 8. Then I'm going to rewrite all of the information that I have not used yet. Okay, this is very important. We want this to come down easily so that when we get to our final answer, we know where it came from. We don't have any side problems going on. We know exactly where it came from. All right, so then we've done that. We do not have any exponents or roots. So then we're going to go to multiplication and division. We have a multiplication sign, no division, so we're obviously going to multiply here in this step. So 7 times 20, that gives us 140 minus 6. Now again, notice I wrote 40 below 7 times 20 because that's where it came from. Then we're going to do 140 minus 6, which is 134. Okay, so now let's look at the next one. The next one is where I want to talk about a misconception that I had as a kid. First thing, let's do it right, and then I want to show you how I did it wrong. All right, no parentheses, no exponents or roots. I have multiplication and division here. Now notice in this problem, division came first. So we're going to say 36 divided by 2 and get 18. And then 18 times 4 is going to give me 72. Now notice the 18 came directly below 36 divided by 2, and the 72 came below 18 times 4. Now that's the correct way to do it. This is the way that I did it as a child, and I realized later that it was completely wrong. I always had the misconception that multiplication had to come before division and addition had to come before subtraction, but that is not the way it goes. So let me show you what the misconception is. So most people look at this and they say, oh, there's multiplication. Let's do that one first. So they say 36 divided by 8. Well, if you go over here and you do 36 divided by 8, 8 will go into 36 4 times, which would be 32. Subtraction, you get 4. So you get 4 and 2, I'm sorry, not 4 and 2, 4 and 1 half. Well, if you notice, these are totally different answers. When we divided by 2 and then multiplied by 4, we got bigger. Over here, we divided by 8, so it got smaller. Not the same thing. Pay attention to left to right. Don't do this because it will take forever for us to fix that misconception. All right, so next thing we're going to look at is no parentheses, but we have an exponent on this one. Now, if you remember from previous lessons, this exponent right here, this is 3 to the 2nd power, or 3 squared, which means 3 times 3. All right, so 3 times 3 is 9, and then plus 6. So again, no multiplication, no division, but we have addition. So 9 plus 6 is 15. All right, so we've done 3, and I want y'all to understand this left to right is a huge deal. You're going to see it where it's mixed up, and sometimes you're still going to get the same answer, but it depends on the numbers. But please follow your left to right and go parentheses, exponents and roots, multiplication, and then adding and multiplication and division, then adding and subtraction. So follow those steps, but make sure on your exponents and roots, multiplication, division, and subtracting, you go left to right.